Starting in January 1942, the Japanese took the peninsula under siege and left the Americans and Filipinos cut off from all help and supplies. The two sides fought for 99 days, the Japanese taking horrendous casualties, the Americans and Filipinos falling back under the Japanese assaults from one final defense line to another. At last, on April 9th, sick and starving, without an air force to protect them or a navy to relieve them, the men of Bataan surrendered. More than 76,000 Americans and Filipinos under American command laid down their arms, the single largest defeat in American military history. The sick, starving, and bedraggled prisoners of war were rounded up by their Japanese captors and made to walk 66 miles to a railhead for the trip to prison camp, a baneful walk under a broiling sun that turned into one of the most notorious treks in the annals of war, the Bataan Death March. It is impossible, so the locals say, to walk the ground where this story takes place, the jungles and woodlands and savannas of the Philippines, without feeling the presence, the lingering tenancy of the men who once fought there, Americans, Filipinos, Japanese. Perhaps that is why, at night, Bataanese villagers in their nipa huts often think they hear history stumbling along in the darkness outside their doors. Some nights it is voices they hear, voices begging for food and water, voices pleading for their lives. Other nights it is the sound of shuffling feet, thousands of feet heavy with fear and fatigue, dragging north through the dust, mile after mile up the old national road. All of this is memory, of course, the memory of the old ones who lived along the route, or their children and children's children who tell and retell the stories of Bataan as if they were reciting from sacred texts. As the events of 1941-1942 passed into the hands of historians, both the battle for Bataan and the Death March became symbols, the former as a modern Thermopylae, a stirring last stand, and the latter as a crucible of courage, the courage to continue on a walk to the grave.